Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day number 2 of my LinkedIn Live broadcast channel, The Power of Connection. And I'm excited to have you here. Again, I'm posting every day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to share some thoughts, engage you, and engage the audience to answer your questions on different topics around thought leadership, personal branding, networking, speaking, and entrepreneurship. And career development. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's Tuesday. Yesterday, we did a great talk on authentic networking. The day before that, we did a great talk on personal branding, and then I did a bit of a testing for this new channel. I'll be here every day at 8:30 a.m. And if you join me, I'd love to hear comments below. You can ask your questions too, and I will also engage in those questions as best I can. Usually, I typically will talk for 10 to 15 minutes, and then with the content that I want to talk about, which today is all about the new LinkedIn 2.0 and what it's all about. And then what I'll do after that is then I will essentially, look at your questions, engage you, and see what people are saying, and we'll kind of go from there. So, does that sound good? You guys ready? All right. So, let's get into the new LinkedIn, which I think is a very, very exciting piece for us to really understand. And hey, thanks, Dina. Good to see you. Good to see you, Craig. Good to see you, Adam. I love this. All these people coming in. So, the new LinkedIn. So, what has happened? I'll tell you a little story, okay? So, about literally 2 years ago, I met with Swish Goswami, and he said, Bobby, and he wanted to meet with me, and we're talking and we're networking, and he said, Bobby, LinkedIn has changed. And I was like, what? He's like, what are you doing on LinkedIn? I'm like, well, I post articles a few times per day, but that's about it. And then I accept a connection request, but I don't do very much stuff on LinkedIn, right? And he said, no, LinkedIn has changed. I'm like, seriously? And he's like, yeah, no, it's changed. And the reason is because Microsoft bought it out 2.5 years ago, and they started implementing changes to make it more engaging and creating more opportunities for people to spend time on LinkedIn. And so I said, sure. So I said, you know what I'll do? So I started posting a daily tip, just a text-based post, and I would talk about the importance of LinkedIn and the importance of career and entrepreneurship and speaking and personal branding. And I just did like a daily tip. And what was interesting was that after I did that, just after 4 or 5 posts, pretty soon I started getting some traction. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I'm getting some really great traction on these daily tips. So I kept doing it, and pretty soon it really took off. One of my best tips got over 100,000 views, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. That's amazing. So at that point, I started really investing in, okay, what is LinkedIn doing differently? How is it changing? So let me tell you some of the things that are changing that are great that you need to look at when it comes to LinkedIn. So the first thing, of course, is content. So historically and statistically, most people are using LinkedIn to research company and people. That's really what they were doing. So they were looking to, hey Denise, hey Christine, they were looking to see, and there's Bhupendra and Raj. Good morning, everybody. They're using LinkedIn to research companies. So I'm applying for a job. Let's see what this company's about. I'm trying to apply. I really want to network and try to find somebody who works at this company. So they would do things like that. And so they would use LinkedIn for doing that. And so about in the statistics were about 70% of people, that was a primary use. And I think the other use was some people were starting to share articles and things like that, but it wasn't as catchy. The main thing was really researching companies and people. And now it's changing because I think LinkedIn wants us to do more content. And what's happened is the people who are creating content, whether it's text content or image content, articles or LinkedIn posts or even the videos or videos in live stream, they're giving more attention to it, and people are getting far more traction. And I can tell you in the beginning, it was very exciting because once I started doing the text-based posts, it was just really taking off. And then pretty soon, they introduced video for me at the end of I believe it was August, September of 2017 or so. And then I started doing that too, just wholeheartedly getting into video because video content for me is very easy. As you can see, it's very easy for me to talk. Hey, Vishal. Hey, Roger. Thanks for joining in. Tag people, share this on your posts, and let's bring people part of the conversation. Let's talk about the new LinkedIn 2.0 and what it's all about. Thank you, Sahib, very, very kindly. Hey, Purvi, good to see you. Wow, this is so cool. Everyone's, you guys can also share your thoughts on what the new LinkedIn 2.0 means to you. What are some of the things that you're noticing that LinkedIn is doing that you think is going well? Comment below and let's share with everybody, what we're talking about here. So for me, the first thing I talked about is, the advent of content. So one of the things you'll know is that of all the almost 600 million users, active users, only 1% of those people are creating content. So that's still 6 million people. But still, a huge opportunity for you to create content on this new LinkedIn 2.0 platform. And of the 1%, hey Ali, of the 1% who are creating content, only 1% of those people are creating videos. So if you want to create videos, like that is a great way to create the connection. So I'm a big proponent of videos. That's why I work with String Nguyen on the Master Video program and community. I think it's really great. And I know a lot of you out there are also doing videos too. And I can probably name like the 100 or 150 people I know that do videos all the time, and some of them are actually here listening on the call, like Miss Suchi and Naz and Dino. You guys are all doing videos, which is great, right? So that it's a good thing to be able to be doing. Okay, so video is great. So other things with LinkedIn 2.0 that has changed. So it's now about, so what they want you to do is like kind of like Facebook. Facebook used to have an average time spent on this platform of 18 minutes per day, which is a lot, and LinkedIn was far less. But now I think LinkedIn is trying to create more time on the platform by encouraging conversation. So they're putting a lot more emphasis on the comments. So actually, when you comment on people's posts and you engage with questions and insights, LinkedIn loves that, and as part of the algorithm, they're actually promoting that as well. So it's a great way for you to actually build up your thought leadership. If you want to comment on people's posts and give your take as a coach, or your take as a entrepreneur, your take as some sort of specialty in leadership or personal branding, whatever it might be, that's what I do, and that's kind of how you set yourself apart and build a brand for yourself in that area. So the engagement piece is going to be great for you in terms of building your brand and leveraging the platform to a point where you're actually getting more traction, more engagement, and more notice. So I highly recommend you get involved with creating content, but also commenting on people's posts, because it's going to serve you well. So now I think people are spending far more time on LinkedIn, and I'll give you my personal journey, which was 2 years ago before I started getting to LinkedIn. I'm a big social media guy, so I have 500,000 followers, and I love social media, and I love to create content. But my time spent has shifted. So at the time, I was spending about 70% of my social media time on Facebook, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours per day. And then I spent probably another 20% on Twitter, because I have a large following there. And then about the other 10% was everything else. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, all the other ones that I was doing, right? So now it's changed. I spend about 65% of all my time on LinkedIn, and I spend about 25% on 20% on Facebook, 5-10% on Twitter, and 5-10% on Instagram. So it's completely shifted in terms of my priority and my focus in terms of where I spend my time. And that's because LinkedIn is definitely creating more engagement, encouraging community, encouraging conversations. We've also taken part. Another great thing you can do is take part in hashtag campaigns. So there's a hashtag campaign called Let's Get Honest, started by Swish, and I actually posted on LinkedIn about my challenges with binge eating, which was actually, wow, okay. But we were talking about our mental health challenges and personal challenges and things that were difficult for us. So and everyone's asking about the buffering. Yes, it is buffering, because the video that I actually see is actually less than what I'm doing. So I'm actually ahead on my actual thing. So I'll let people know that in case they're not sure. So that campaign was amazing. We did another campaign called 10 Tips, 10 Days. So what people did was they basically would share 10 tips in 10 days, whether it's in a row or every week. And it was encouraging people to do content. I started that one with Lila, Kira, and Jake. And another one that I saw was 12 Days of Gratitude. Did that one as well, sharing content, what you're grateful for. And so these hashtag campaigns are a great way for you to encourage you to get content, but also when you create the content and you put the hashtag in, more people will see it than just your followers. So another great way for you to build up your networking and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Susie. Hey, Javed. Good to see you. So that is something that's really, really, really important. So let me make sure. Some people mentioned